meeting of Vesuvius Town Council, Monday, March 7th, 2016 at 2 p.m. in council chambers. And I'll just call the meeting to order and just announce that we are just on Granicus today because Eastlink is in the process of setting up a new camera in here, but it may take a couple of weeks. Am I correct? So we may have it in place for the next meeting. We're not quite sure. So first, the adoption of some minutes. The Committee of the Whole minutes from February the 15th, 2016, and the regular open minutes from February the 15th, 2016. And could I have those adopted, please? Thank you. Rhodes, Campbell, all in favor? Thank you. And business arising from prior minutes, there's nothing there. Introduction of late items, nothing. So we need to have the agenda adopted as presented, please. King, Youngberg, all in favor? Thank you. No delegations today, no water matters. Wow, this will be fast. And no correspondence. So we will go right into bylaws. And the first bylaw that we're going to talk about is the business plan approval. And is that Mr. Romank? Sorry? The 5-year financial plan. I've skipped right down to business. Okay, 5-year financial plan. And I'm trying to get it over with quickly. Is that you, Mr. Zackel?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So before council is 5-year financial plan bylaw 1317. This bylaw received first 3 readings at the February 15th open meeting of council. We also had, prior to that, a special open budget meeting of council on January 18th, 2016, seeking community's input. Prior to this budget being considered for adoption by council, we've also put into the local paper and on our website that we offered once again another opportunity for public input prior to council's adoption of the financial plan. I don't believe we received any written requests as of this time. So it's up for council debate. The highlights on this financial plan include a 1.97% increase in property taxes, a 2% increase to garbage recycling fees, a 2.12% increase to sewer rates, and a 6.37% increase to water rates. So the options before council to allow for public input into the 5-year financial plan. Option 2 for council to adopt 5-year financial plan bylaw 1317-2016. Option 3 to rescind third reading and make additional changes to the 5-year financial plan and reread for a third time. And recommending option 1, and then after the public input session going to option 2. So allowing for if there's any other public input and then considering.
Would that be right now, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, is there any other public input? Councillor Campbell.
I'll start by moving option 1 for council to allow for public input into the 5-year financial plan.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Thank you. All in favor of that part? Thank you. And so that there is no public input because there's nobody here to do that, so we don't have to go on to.
Unless there's somebody from the gallery you'd wish to.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. So option 1 is done. We're now on to. And that, I should just say too, this was a long report, but it has been it has been discussed several times, and we've looked at it very carefully. Councillor Campbell.
I'll now move for option 2 for council to adopt the 5-year financial plan bylaw 1317-2016.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Campbell King. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll go into business and business plan approval, and that's Mr. Romanko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. And the town of Vesuvius business plan is updated to maintain a 4-year operating window. I'm going to provide a quick overview of the business plan. First of all, it provides overall vision, mission, and goals based on 9 key result areas for the organization. Provides outlines of administrative process to engage public, staff, and council in business planning and community priorities. identifies key priorities, which are continually updated as they're developed during the course of the year, provides a 4-year rolling plan for directions, projects, priorities, and investments, includes the core service activities, discretionary services approved by council, and special projects that achieve goals in key result areas. It's developed through individual and joint strategic sessions with public, council, and directors. Ideally, the business plan takes direction from other strategic plans, such as the Integrated Community Sustainability Plan, Official Community Plan, 5-year Capital Operational Plan, Financial Plan objectives and policies, and any other planning documents. Projects and activities are identified with targeted date for completion based on best guess amount of time to complete. However, all projects are subject to uncontrollable factors, changing priorities, new directions, and new opportunities. The plan is approved by council with the understanding that these projects will move ahead based on capacity of individuals and departments, the allocation of resources, and administration's ability to respond. New items to be added must go through approval of council to recognize the reallocation of resources. The business plan identifies the financial resources committed from the budgeting process. The CAO and the directors will provide council with quarterly updates on the projects. Although roles are different, many projects require administration and council working together within their respective roles to achieve achieve success. Business plan is approved by council prior to budget, yes, one way or another, it's still integrated into the budget process. Implications, community has a 4-year public operating plan that assists in providing town operating transparency. Organizational business plan assists in informing the public and all staff about the work that we are undertaking and planning to undertake. Each director will base their work unit plans on this document. Budget, the budget is formulated from activities identified in the business plan. Business plans take direction from the Integrated Sustainability Plan. Options: 1, council passes a resolution accepting the 2016 to 2019 business plan as presented. 2, council passes a resolution accepting the 2016 to 19 business plan with noted changes. And 3, council passes a resolution not to accept the business plan. The administration is recommending option number 1. Having a business plan increases public transparency and assists with overall organizational effectiveness and efficiency.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'd like to make a motion based on option number 1 and the wording that's in there.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell, you're seconding that motion. Is there any discussion on this? Yes.
CAO Romanko, I'd like to compliment you on once again bringing this document up to date and keeping it current. And I just can't say enough about how this business plan really does help us with absolutely everything that we do on council. I'd also like to mention the wording about transparency. This is a public document, and everything that we do in this community is basically listed in that document in one way or another, and certainly is a good reference point for anybody in our community that's interested in everything that we do. So go ahead and have a look at it. It's a great thing. Just to show you how this document can be used, we've had a couple of incidences through our budget process in the last little while regarding some changes to some of our road work and how we're going to structure that. That was planned for well into the future, and it was brought to attention by a resident. I won't go into the details, but it was brought forward, and we were able to move that particular project up a couple of years because of the importance of it. So that's how this thing works. If you want to have a look at it, it's on our website, and it's a great document to have a look at.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rhodes. Well said. Yes, we just want to point out absolutely that things can be changed in the document. It is not written in stone. It can be changed when we see reasons for it to be changed. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Romanko and Mr. Zackel, for putting all of this together, one fitting with the other. So have we voted on that? No. So we have moved and seconded, and all in favor. Thank you very much. Next is the community services grants, and that would be Mr. Davis.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. The Community Service Grants Policy has an area dedicated to sports teams and individuals who qualify for provincial competition. Individuals can access up to $200, and teams can qualify for up to $500. The total amount dedicated in the Community Service Grants area is $2,000. The town received grant applications for 2 teams that are traveling to provincial competitions. The Bantam Boys representative team from the South Okanagan Minor Hockey Association is traveling to Smithers, BC on March 13th to the 18th to compete in the BC Tier 3 Provincial Championships. The other team who qualified for provincial competition is the Senior Boys basketball team from the Soyuz Senior Secondary. They will be traveling to Langley to compete in the Single A Provincial Boys Championships on March 8th to the 12th. Both of these teams have also solicited funds from Spirit of the Games. As part of the application, both teams are requesting $500 to travel to their respective competitions. The Bantam hockey team will also be organizing a number of fundraising initiatives to help offset the costs, and they have approached the town of Oliver for other potential funding. In terms of implications for the community, providing funding for youth teams to travel to provincial competitions or championships is appreciated and supported locally. The budget, there's a maximum of $2,000 dedicated in this area as part of the policy. The estimated budget for the provincial championships for basketball was $5,000, which includes players' travel, accommodations, and food. And the hockey provincials were estimated at $20,000. Soyuz Senior Secondary takes care of the team registration fee, the coaches' expenses, and the chaperones. In the past, SOMA has also provided financial assistance for teams traveling to provincial championships. The dates for basketball is March 8th to the 12th, so they leave tomorrow, and hockey is March 13th to the 18th. In terms of options, option number 1, for council to approve $500 to both teams traveling to their respective provincial competitions. Option 2, for council to approve a lesser amount to both teams traveling to the provincial competitions, or option number 3, for council not to support these teams at this time. And the option that is recommended is option number 1. The maximum amount available as per the policy is $500. Council could choose to approve a lesser amount or even different amounts for both teams. Even though there is a deadline for the last Friday in February as part of the policy to submit an application for the grant program, there is no deadline for provincial funding.
Thank you very much. And we're very proud of both of these teams. I know Casey Brower is the coach of the basketball team, and he was just telling me at lunchtime that they're leaving tomorrow, taking the school bus, and so we wish them the best. And also for the hockey team that's going up to Smithers. So, Council, what would Councillor King?
I'll make a motion to option number 1 to approve $500 for each team.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell, you're seconding that? Anybody have anything else to say about it?
No, I'll just happy to report that Spirit of the Game did approve both those applications as well.
Good. Thank you very much. So, all in favor of option 1, $500 for each team. That's carried. Thank you very much, and good luck to the teams. Next is the sign bylaw, and Mr. Cunningham.
Thank you. Staff is seeking council approval to waive fees for new permitted signs that owners want in place of their prohibited roof signs, which have to come down under Section 20 of our sign bylaw. Roof signs are prohibited under most sign bylaws nowadays. In our case, this will improve the town's aesthetic attractiveness as a resort community, lessen distractions from the safety of drivers and pedestrians, many of whom are seniors, enhance dark sky protection with reduced upward light loss, and in some cases maybe remove signs which are near the end of their life cycles. Under Section 21 of our sign bylaw, sign owners have the option of not removing their prohibited roof signs within the normal 30 days, instead retaining them for a 3-year amortization period before removal. This amortization allowance extends owners' opportunities for claiming capital depreciation tax deductions on their signs and gives them time to consider what, if any, signage they want to install in place. Fascia and awning signs would be such examples. 6 months prior to the end of the amortization period, staff has to send notices to sign owners and offer their services to assist them transition as seamlessly as possible between old and new signage. Waiving fees for any replacement signage would further add to the town's business support. After council approved our sign bylaw, staff approached roof sign owners and asked if they wanted to immediately remove their signs or sign an amortization agreement to remove them within 3 years. All chose to sign agreements as listed below, and there's 9 of them that are listed there. The 3-year amortization period comes due on July 22nd for the above businesses. Staff are still researching the timing of an agreement for the Adriatic Motel on 5501 Main Street, and the future of the Osoyoos Desert Model Railway sign will also be reviewed as part of our upcoming review of wayfinding signage. To avoid conflict with the summer season, staff have postponed sending out the 6-month notices to this week and are relaxing the due date for removing old signage till September 30th. Options. Council may 1. Waive fees for new signs approved for owners in place of their prohibited roof signs. Not waive. Implications. Community support of business community. Organizational. Our senior planner will advise owners on allowable signage that also contributes to downtown revitalization. Budget. The cost of each sign permit is $75 for all signs included in the application. So if they apply for 2 or 3 signs to replace the rooftop sign, it still costs $75. Assuming 10 owners make sign applications, the loss of revenue could total $750. Significant dates, see above. Environmental, our sign bylaw promotes quality of life, QOL, and conserves energy. Staff recommends that council waives the sign permit fees for owners wishing to replace their rooftop signs with new signage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this has been, when I first got elected to council, the sign bylaw was really quite, it was in the news a lot because I believe we went through 10 different versions of the sign bylaw. So to me, this sounds like a very nice way of dealing with it, and I think that that you've put some thought into this, and I appreciate it. Anybody else? Anybody would like to say anything? Councillor Campbell?
I would make the motion for option number 1 to waive the fees for the new signs approved for owners in place of their prohibited roof signs.
Seconder? Thank you. Councillor Youngberg. Anybody else like to speak on this? No, that seems fairly clear. Okay, all in favor. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next on our agenda is the Gyro Park Pier Advancement Study and Detailed Design. Mr. Cunningham.
Attached is CTQ's consultant's final report on the Gyro Park Pier Advancement Study. An overall concept plan of the pier is attached to this report for quick reference. The advancement study lays the foundation for detailed design, which could proceed this year subject to budget approval. And of course, that budget has been approved for that particular project, along with others. It would include working drawings, Class B cost estimates for each component, and acquisition of environmental permits. The result would be a shelf-ready project for future financing and construction. At the meeting today, Council is being requested to A, endorse the advancement study, and B, confirm project components from the advancement study to be carried forward to detailed design. The Pier project is one of the priorities recommended through our stakeholder-driven 2012 Waterfront Gyro Park Plan, endorsed by Council for implementing on a project-by-project basis with further community participation. The Pier project is being coordinated through the Waterfront Steering Committee, WSC, chaired by Councillor Rhodes, and included in the CEO, Director of Planning Development Services, and Director of Community Services. The Director of Operational Services will be added. The Gyro Park Pier Advancement Study included the following steps to promote a team approach and public engagement. First, starting in May 17th, 2015, there was an initial site meeting and workshop between CTQ consultants and the Waterfront Steering Committee to confirm project scope and components. August 19th, second meeting between CQ and WC, the committee, to confirm planning concepts and select design options for various P components. Pier components, October 19th. First meeting with council to review options and provide prior input before going to the public. November 3rd, open house including members of the public and some councillors and staff. Then second meeting with council to present draft report and confirm selected options that came out of the open house. Then draft report posted on town website inviting public comment by February 5th. 3 received comments were attached. And then finally, January 18th, draft report reviewed by director for consistency with town input. Detailed design costs will be broken down by components so that council can choose either to seek financing to build the entire project or over 1 or 2 years, postpone any component until sufficient monies are available, or leave out a component. The following table summarizes the components and features of the Pier project as detailed in the advancement study. Council is asked to confirm whether the terms of reference for the upcoming detailed design should include all project components and features from the table at the outset, or whether any should be left out from design work, though they could be revisited at some later date. And in terms of essential components which are required for project viability, that includes the pier structure itself and the foreshore walkway. And then if we go into optional components for financing, there's the gazebo, which would be at the end of the pier, the nodes and plaza along the walkway going to the pier, wheelchair ramp going alongside the pier itself and extending into the water, the jumping tower water play area on the west side, boat moorage on the east side. Options, endorsement of Pier study. Option 1, council endorsed Gyro Park Pier advancement study, January 2016, prepared by CT Consultants. Or 2, option 2, council requires some revisions before endorsement. B, terms of reference for final design. Option 1, council confirm all project content from the advancement study to be included in the detailed design. Or option 2, council leaves out certain components and features. 4, impacts. Community Pier will be a beautiful asset for our town. Organization director will work with the Waterfront Steering Committee to finalize terms of reference for detailed design, compare tenders, and recommend a preferred contractor to council, and coordinate contract completion, including public engagement. Budget, that has been approved. It's $82,500 from general funds. Significant dates. If council agrees, the Waterfront Steering Committee would start work on this project early in April. Sustainability, Pier will contribute to community and economic sustainability. The administration requests council to A, endorse Gyro Park Pier advancement study, January 2016, prepared by CT Consultants, and B, confirm project components from the advancement study to be carried forward to the detailed design. And there's three letters which are attached to your package. And the first one came from Mr. Ken Murray, and if I may summarize, he raised objections about the boats moorage for safety reasons, and also its connection with Watermark, which is a bit of a red herring because it's not directly connected with them. There were some comments to that effect in the earlier report, and those have been taken out, so it's a project that can be viewed on its own merits one way or another. There's also a letter from Carol and Larry Bowen raising questions about whether we should be using composite lumber or wood. The decision was made generally for wood because it would be cooler, for one thing. And they look forward to having a shade structure at the end for various users. And then Bev McDonald-Anderson wrote, the pier will be a great addition to Gyro Park. Having spent many summers at Gyro Park as a child, it is nice to see the improvements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cunningham. I'm going to first ask Councillor Rhodes, who's on the steering committee, to talk about this.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. As we've been working through this project, we've received fairly comprehensive feedback, more verbally than in writing. All of that feedback has been very, very positive. with the exception of a couple of things, and I'm hoping we can open some discussion at this meeting about it. I'm assuming that that's what you're wishing us to do. And in particular, it has to do with item number 7 in the boat moorage. And I would like to suggest to Mayor and Council that we have some discussion about that particular part of it. Originally, I was kind of in favor of it, but after a fair amount of consultation and looking at other peers, and I think that word pier is very, very important because it is not a dock, it is actually a pier that is going to engage pedestrian traffic more than anything else. We're trying to encourage jumping off the end and having water play areas, all of which involve people, families and that kind of thing. And I'm having a fairly serious problem with the boat moorage part of it because I feel that there's two things by not having it. We would really improve the safety to all the people that would be using this. And I'm the first to admit that the boat moorage was on the opposing side to the water activities that we're proposing. But it is still a public area, and I just don't feel that there's interaction that's of a real positive nature between boat traffic and the people who will be using the pier. The other byproduct of not having a boat moorage portion of it is the incredible savings in the overall cost of building the pier. I don't have the exact number, but it's a significant dollar value. If you don't have that, then you don't have to accommodate it. All of the other things, I really, really like it. I'm really, really happy with the design of the wheelchair ramp. It's a component in our community that we're lacking right now, and this certainly will enhance that. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm kind of against that boat moorage part, and just looking for support to have that removed out of there.
I tend to agree with you, Councillor Rhodes, and I do think that we can certainly look at all of the components here and pick and choose, can we not?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I totally agree. Is there anyone else who would like to? Maybe what we need to do is go back and take option A first. It would either be to endorse the study or to require some revisions, and then B is to look at the specifics. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, to
Okay.
carry forward for the final design. Okay.
Okay, so can we look at the endorsement of the Pier study, option A, to endorse it, prepared by CTQ Consultants? Anybody want to, because these are two separate issues, correct?
Yes.
To me, there's one, we endorse it, and the second one is that we look at the issues that are on there and not and delay some of them. No, am I misreading
Yeah,
I
this?
don't know
Two
if
options.
I see it differently, that we
Yeah.
would require some revisions in the endorsement.
Option 2.
Okay.
under A.
If we're in agreement that the mooring needs to go.
Is that correct, Mr. Cunningham? Do you see that
Yep.
that we
I-
do that before we pass section A? Perfect. Okay.
Just with the qualification that if it was kept in the study, that doesn't mean a say, and there seems to
Yeah.
be feelings that it shouldn't go through to the final design. But if it was kept in the study, that wouldn't prevent this council or a future council from coming back to it in the future. But if there's such strong feelings against it, then I would agree that it
We
should
take
be
it out now?
removed from the study itself.
Okay. That's where I thought we could endorse the whole thing and only say
Well,
we only wanted to do part of it.
Procedural question then.
Yeah.
Would we have to go option number 2 if we're in agreement to remove the moorage, or can we go with option 1 and state that as being removed from it?
At this stage.
Yes,
It
you
could be
can.
just
So
delayed.
that
It
would
could be
make more
10.
sense to me. If that's the case, I would make a motion that council endorse the Gyro Park Beer Advancement Study, January 2016, prepared by CTQ Consultants, with the removal of the moorage section.
Okay.
So the removal of it forever, that's what it means. Okay.
That's
So that at
exactly
some
what it
point, it doesn't necessarily, that's I think what the difference is here. So we could either do it that way, or we could approve this, and then when we come to section B, we could say, we do not wish to have this part of the advancement study included at this time.
That's right. So just to explain, keeping it within the study does not tie your hands with respect to B. You could still leave it in there, and then go forward to B and say, for the purposes of developing the terms of reference for the final design, we do not wish to see that particular component included in that. But, having said that, it does not preclude a future council from revisiting that particular issue.
So
What would be the difference?
taking it out means it's removing it forever.
It's gone forever.
If you left it in, it is being removed for now, and it could be 10 years down the road if they wanted to add that on. It's there. It's already in the drawings. It could be added.
That's
It
correct.
never has to be. Am I correct? Council?
That's right. You're not costing, you're agreeing that it could be a viable part of the project at some future time, but right now you're not asking for a costing to be included or in the design process.
Because
So
you're-
by going with doing this in A, as I suggested, the money comes back. It's not, that budget money comes out, the part for the mortgage. Whereas
Well,
the budget, it stays in the budget, no?
we
the
haven't
80
gone to that part.
The 84,000 is for costing out the designs.
Right.
So there would be no, if council went the direction of not including item number 7, you wouldn't design that particular component. So we don't know what amount of money is related to that, but we would continue to work with that budget figure. We would just send something to the consultant, say, just cost out these 6 items.
Okay, so there is a motion on the table. Can we see if there's a seconder for that motion?
Did you write that down, Brianne? Okay, the motion was, could you read it again, please? That was Councillor Campbell.
That council endorsed the Gyro Park Pier advancement study that was completed in January of 2016 and prepared by CTQ Consultants with the removal of the boat moorage as an option.
You're seconding that? Okay, anybody else want to
Speak to that if I
speak?
can.
Yes, absolutely.
Director Cunningham was the charrette that was held, not recommending that we have boat moorage on the pier.
Yeah, there was no strong feelings about removing it. Okay,
Right.
the strongest feeling we've had actually is expressed in the letter that's attached here,
Right.
and I think reflecting the viewpoints of Councillor Rhodes that there's safety issues attached with it, and so therefore.
I understand that the swimming area and the diving area was going to be moored off,
Yes,
so there was
on the inside.
no severe, at the public, I'm just going back to the public
yeah,
hearing. We
yeah.
have-
So
those
the
questions
swimming
asked.
areas would be on the internal protected side of the pier,
Right.
and the boating would be on the external side. So there would be a clear demarcation between those 2 areas.
Right. And then I understand that some of the input was from business owners downtown, that they really felt that there should be at least 4 spots of boat moorage so that people could walk uptown.
Yeah,
Is that not right?
That is correct. So
Okay.
the idea was that people could take their boats in and get, disembark and then go to some of the businesses which are downtown. There was the longer-term prospect, which was raised at the workshop about the potential, which had been discussed for a long time, about ferry service between the west and east sides of the lake.
Right. As it stands right now, I think that the communication between the east side and the west side delivers people only to the
That's
marina. And
yeah,
they have to walk from the marina to town.
that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor King?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'd actually be speaking against this motion. I think the study should include the boat slip to start with, and then as we get into number B, it kind of sounds repetitive that we could take components out. So I'd like to see the study before we do the final design, if that's possible. Just so we could you'd get a cost out of the study, is that right?
We already have that, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, the study includes
For the 82 too.
the boats, right?
Okay.
Storage, and the cost estimates that we have, okay, from the same consultants, which form the basis for council's budget approval, would have included consideration of that as being part of the final design. So the implication of taking it off under B would be perhaps that we might save some monies on the final design, but that's purely conjecture at this point. We'd have to receive competing bids, and we don't know, the cost complexity versus the rest of the project with respect to the boat morages. Do they constitute 5% of the project or whatever?
We don't know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Member Kordoff. The logic of having the boat moorage down there, the other compelling reason that I brought forward was the budget scenario. I'm going to stick my neck out. It's a major, major part of the design. There is areas down there that allow boats to go into that are anchored into the water. There has to be pathways for pedestrians to walk and stairways to get up to the pier because the water is never at the same level that the pier is at. It is an incredible design addition to the pier. If that, so we have no way of estimating, but I'm going to stick my neck out here that it's $100,000 to $150,000 that it would add to the cost of that pier. This is going to be a financial challenge for us to get this off and started. If anybody has any doubts about it, it will be a major challenge for us. We need to be very, very careful about how we design this because it's important to understand that those types of things have a profound effect on the final cost of building this pier. And to, take a project that's going to cost, significant amount of money out of the project saves us that money. In my mind, it's that simple. Yes, people in our community want these kind of things, but they come at a tremendous cost. And I think this is a good time for us to move forward with this pier design without that component of it right now.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell?
I would also say that there's an element of management involved in having the pier there as well, how long a boat can be moored. And with there being only 4 slips, it's pretty limited, especially with the summer traffic we see here in that area. So I see it being something that can almost become a burden as far as managing it and the oversight with having the moorage there, which is my other concern.
Thank you. Maybe I'll just say something now. I totally agree with what has been said. I think personally that it should be left in the design, but at this or left on the books, but not put into the final design, but left there so that at some stage in the future, if it was decided that moorage needed to go in, it's already there, it's designed, it's ready to go. If we take it off now, it is scrapped. So for that reason, I sure don't want to see that moorage down there right now, and for both reasons that Councillor Rhodes said, the safety issue and the fact that it costs a lot of money. But I don't see throwing it out of the design because it may be able to be used in the future. That's just the way I looked at it. Councillor Youngberg.
Just a couple of comments to the bylaw officer was going to monitor the boats. That was the original discussion that I had from a workshop or some sort of input at the public meeting. I believe that came up. Who's going to monitor this to prevent a boat from staying there? It was suggested bylaw officers could probably handle that. But secondly, I think, and most importantly, is that a number of these issues were covered at the time when we had the charrette moving forward, when we had the public hearing. And we're going against the information that I heard, and I just don't think it's very good long planning. So I'm going to vote against the motion.
Thank you again, Mayor Kordoff. For clarity, the original design did not include boat moorage. The boat moorage was an add-on by the consultants that prepared the report for us. It was
Did that not come from the input from the public, from what I understand?
no.
I think that option was put in there to accommodate it.
Sorry, yeah.
But I do think it's up to us to decide whether that's an appropriate a place to put moorage right now. And I don't think necessarily that the charrette, if somebody said, oh yeah, wouldn't it be great to have moorage down there, I don't think they were looking at this type of a design and seeing the costs and the implications of having it there. So, Councillor Campbell.
I think it's our job to manage safety, costs, and functionality of anything. Charrette's come up with recommendations and input, but I think other things come to light after the fact, and that to not look at this decision because a decision by a charrette was made earlier, I don't think that reason alone makes a lot of sense. I think if there's reasons that we can all agree why this shouldn't be in the plan, then I think as a council that should be the decision that we can make.
I'd go back to Mayor McCordoff's comment. I'd like to see it stay in the study for possible future. In that regards, if the motion could be sort of a friendly amended to be worded a little bit, I could support it then.
So
I wouldn't see that as a friendly amendment. I would see that as a direct opposite.
So we do have a motion on the floor right now, and that motion includes Councillor Campbell's suggestion that that be removed. Am I correct, Brianne? Yes. Okay. So should we vote on that one? This is A, to endorse the study and remove the moorage. All in favor of that? Against? So that's defeated. Therefore, could we go back to another motion, please? Would someone like to endorse the Pier study prepared right the way it's stated in option 1?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll
Okay.
second
So the A option 1 is the way it's stated. You got that? Yeah. Okay. Yes, Councillor King, Councillor Youngberg. All right, so we've gone around this. Is there anybody that needed to? Yes, Councillor Rose.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'd like to speak against the motion because it needs to be understood that keeping this in the design will add to the cost of the design of the pier.
No, sorry. So I have to say that we haven't got to that point yet.
Right.
All we're talking about is keeping it as part of the study. We're talking about costs. There may be some costs in terms of taking it out of the study because there are quite a lot of revisions would be necessary to the report. But in terms of the cost for the design, that is a subject matter of B. In terms of confirming what content or not that you want to be included under the advancement study.
That's the way I read it as well. So it's
then we could take it over.
All right. So the motion is to accept A1A. All in favor? Against? That's what we expected. Okay. So that is carried. Now, option the final design terms of reference. There is option 1 or option 2.
Ready for a rerun?
I think you get support this time.
Okay, so the option is to confirm project contents from the advancement studies to be carried forward to the detailed design. Is there somebody who would like to make a motion concerning this? No, nobody wants to.
Nobody wants to what?
Who would like to make a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion on option 2. Council leaves out certain components.
Yes, that's what I'm asking about.
You said number 1.
So what are the components?
I'm going to go with boat moorage.
Okay.
For $500.
So it would save a ton when we build the thing, right? Yeah, obviously. Okay, so the option is to confirm project contents, and the contents would be 1 to 6. and leaving out option 7.
That's my motion.
That's your motion. Is that acceptable, Mr. Cunningham? Is that what you're looking for here?
Leave out number 7.
Well, it's completely up to you, but now you can realize why my report was written in a rather convoluted manner to allow this very, very good conversation.
You should
Yes.
just leave after this, I think.
But yeah, sure, please.
Okay.
Proceed with that.
So it looks like the other 6 things we're in agreement. It's just that. Okay, so Councillor Campbell has made that motion, leaving out number 7. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor King. Any further comments on this? All in favor? Thank you. That part's unanimous.
I'm against.
Oh, sorry, you're against. Okay, so 4-1. I apologize, Councillor Youngberg. Okay.
So could
Yes.
the second resolution be read back so I'm perfectly clear what was said? I think I know what was said.
We voted on it.
That council leave out boat moorage from the advancement study to be carried forward to the detailed design.
Okay. But it includes all the other components.
Yeah, I would think the motion should be worded that
1 to 6.
that projects 1 to 6 be taken forward for project for design.
Correct.
Would you like us to redo that motion, or no? We're good. That's what we meant.
That's what you meant, yes. Projects 1 through 6 be brought forward.
So 1 through 6, and we're just leaving out number 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much. We're getting used to
Well,
this,
the
aren't
first
we?
few were so easy.
I know, we have to come up with something. Okay, the next is the ICBC Information Protection Policy. Ms. Van Vienen.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The town entered into a 3-year information sharing agreement with ICBC in June 2015 in order to receive information regarding vehicle ownership for the purposes of enforcing our bylaws. Section 16 of the agreement with ICBC requires that the town have an information handling and privacy policy in place which clearly sets out the responsibilities of each individual in the organization and complying with all applicable legislation and privacy principles. Council reviewed the attached policy at the Committee of the Whole meeting on March 7th, 2016. It is now being presented to Council for approval. Implications for the community, none. Organizationally, none. Budget, none. Significant dates, the policy must be submitted to ICBC before the end of March, or we may not receive further information from them. And under sustainability, the ability to continue to enforce our bylaws. Options, number 1, that ICBC Information Protection Policy CORP-011 be approved. Option 2, that it be referred back to staff for changes. And number 3, that it not be approved, and staff recommend option 1.
Thank you very much. We did discuss this morning at the Committee of the Whole meeting. Council? Yes, Councillor Youngberg.
I'd like to get a motion that ICBC Information Protection Policy 011 be approved as in option 1.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell is seconding that. All in favor? Thank you very much. Next is the Wine Country Racing Association Airport Use Agreement. Ms. Van Vienen.
Thank you. The town has provided a license to use the airport to Wine Country Racing Association, or WCRA, for the past several years for the purposes of using the runway for drag racing events. WCRA has requested use of the airport again in 2016 for the following dates. There is one additional weekend compared to 2015. So the dates are April 30th and May 1st, May 28th and 29th, June 4th and 5th, June 18th and 19th, September 24th and 25th, and October 8th and 9th. A copy of a license to use for 2016 is attached for council approval. The terms and conditions are the same as in previous years, with the exception of the one additional week is being requested. The date changes from previous years, but still on Saturdays and Sundays. And liability insurance requirement has been increased from $2 million to $5 million, which was provided for by WCRA in 2015. And we are trying to increase what we are requiring from users of our properties to a $5 million for our protection. Implication to the community, increase in tourism visitors to the community during drag racing events, possible noise to surrounding areas, organizationally, monitoring of the agreement and airport conditions, budget revenue based on 33% share of the net ticket sales and participant fees, sustainability, no issues. This agreement requires renewal from year to year. And options, number 1, that council approve the license to use to Wine Country Racing Association for 2016 as attached, and that the town signatories be authorized to sign. 2, that the attached agreement be amended by staff. 3, that the request to use the airport be denied. And recommendation is that that council adopt option number 1.
Thank you very much. Can I just ask one question? You've got the budget revenue based on 33% of the share of net ticket sales. I don't imagine they charge a ton of money for this. Do you have any idea how much that would be? Is that a guess? Or
it was approximately $4,000 that we received last year for all of their races. So
that's pretty good.
It's a fair contribution.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'll make a motion based on option 1, that council approve the license to use to Wine Country Racing Association for 2016 as attached, and that the town signatories be authorized to sign.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell is seconding that. All in favor? Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Did you want to speak? Go ahead.
I didn't want to speak. I just wanted to ask a question. I hate asking rhetorical questions, but is the runway / drag strip, is it in good condition? It's not being abused, or have we received any negative reports or anything about it?
There is a requirement that any damage that they do to the airstrip, they must repair to the approval of the Director of Operations.
And we haven't received it.
He didn't know
welcome
that.
aboard.
I get to drive up and down.
I was going to say,
Yes,
what
you
kind
do.
of car do you have?
But today we've received no indication that there's...
There has been none to date.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Thank you very much. Yes,
Yeah,
Councillor
thank you,
King.
Mayor McCormick. I guess I have one question here on page 2, the first one, where they have flexibility to change their dates with 4 days' notice, but I don't see any flexibility for us to change notice of, say, if something disaster happened and we need that space.
Good point.
Under the terms number 2.
Yeah, there isn't. However, if the airport was needed for emergency purposes, I know that WCRA would change their dates. They've actually, if they are on the runway and using it, and there's an emergency aircraft that has to land, they have to vacate the runway.
Well, I'm sure they would, but it would be nice to see it in writing. I mean, that's just your verbal response, so.
I believe it's actually in one of the
And
conditions.
I could have missed it, but it just, that little bit popped out at me. I mean, it's not really rocket science, but it seems like we would be wanting to also.
That statement you just made, Jeanette, I think is in there from
Yeah.
what I can recall.
It's under 10GC.
But, yeah.
It is that the runway be vacated immediately upon receiving a radio call of an arrival or departure of emergency air traffic.
Okay.
Okay.
So does that answer your question, Councillor King?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So have we voted on that, haven't we? Yes, okay, good. We're now down to victim services program funding. Ms. Van Vienen.
Thank you. At the January 18th, 2016 regular open meeting, Council passed the following resolution. Moved by Councillor Campbell and seconded by Councillor King that the Mayor and Corporate Officer be authorized to sign the 2016-2017 Victim Services Program Funding Application for OSEUS for a 16-month term, and that the province be advised that the town will no longer be interested in administering the program after July 31st, 2017, and that the RDOS be approached to take on the administration of this contract or to pay an administration fee for this contract. And that was carried. In the previous years, the agreements were for a one-year term from April 1st to March 31st with a funding amount of $35,560. The province has changed the term to be 16-month term from April 1st, 2016 to July 31st, 2017 with a total funding amount of $47,936.02, which was a minimal, very, very minimal increase. I think it was 1% on the 1% increase that they gave to us for wages. Of the $47,936.02, 80% must go toward wages. The town contributes approximately $4,000 in kind with regard to management wages and accounting costs, and this is a very low estimate. The agreement with the province for the town to administer this program is attached for approval. Schedule F has been removed under FOI as it contains personal information regarding the program manager. Implications for the community: continuation of a victim services program. Organizationally, staff time is in administering the contract. Budget: no direct impact on the town's budget. However, administrative time in kind is used to administer the contract. Significant dates: immediate. The signed contract must be returned to the province by March 18th. Sustainability: no change. Options: that the signatories for the town be authorized to sign the transfer under agreement with the province for victim services for the term April 1st, 2016 to July 31st, 2017, or 2, that the town not enter into the transfer under agreement with the province for victim services. Recommendation: staff recommend option 1. As per the resolution from January 18th, staff will be forwarding a letter to the RDOS requesting that they take over the contract when it is up for renewal in 2017, or that they pay an administration fee to the town to continue to administer the contract.
Thank you very much. Could council, anybody have any information on this or would like to make a suggestion? Councillor Youngberg.
I'd just like to make a motion option number 1.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor King. Anybody want to? Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. Thank you for this, Ms. Van Bienen. Next is, yes, okay, do you want me to announce it first and then you're going to do your thing?
Well, I was just going to declare a conflict and recuse myself in the next item.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. The next item is the 74th Avenue reconstruction, 85th Street to Main Street, and Councillor Rhodes has a business on that road, so he would like to recuse himself. So it's Mr. Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Mayor McCortoff. In 2014, part of the budget was to have 74th Avenue designed to full urban standards with costing for future budgets. This avenue is an important part of the downtown core and should be improved not only for stormwater management but also to enhance parking, pedestrian and vehicular traffic experiences. This project will also complete the reconstruction of 74th Avenue from 89th Street to Main Street. 7 contractors have tendered bids to complete this project for the town of Osoyoos. An analysis of all the contractor bids by True Consulting recommends that this contract be awarded to Grizzly Excavating in the amount of $267,306.38. Also, True has attached a report with more detailed costing if you would like to read that. The implications for the community are completion of 74th Avenue, completion of the reconstruction of 74th Avenue between 89 and Main Streets to full urban standards results in enhanced parking, vehicular and pedestrian experiences in the downtown area. There will be no implications for the organization. Budget-wise, on the basis of the Grizzly Excavating tender, the final project cost is projected to be $17,422.50, or 5% under the budget total. Significant dates: in order to ensure that the completion of this project by May 12, 2016, it is recommended that the tender be awarded as soon as possible. And sustainability, there are no impacts. The options for Town Council are to award the contract for the reconstruction of 74th Avenue between 85 and Main Street to Grizzly Excavating for $267,306.38. Option 2 is that Town Council not award the contract for the reconstruction of 74th Avenue between 85 and Main Street to Grizzly Excavating. Option 3 is that Council request additional information prior to making a decision. Administration would recommend that the Council choose option number 1 and award this contract to Grizzly Excavating.
Thank you very much. I had a question.
Sure.
We're in the process of doing 89th to 87th, 87th to 85th, and then 85th to Main Street. And it's a different construction company doing 89th to 85th. Am I
Yes.
correct? Those two, right? So I see that in the last week, the company has come back and they're completing the parts that they started in the fall.
Yes, they
So-
put a sidewalk on both sides of the road.
Yeah, and they're going to do the road at the last. That will be. They'll put down a pavement or something.
Yes,
on the
the
road.
asphalt plants haven't fired up yet, but they will be
Okay.
shortly. So.
Are they planning to complete that section before they move to the next section between 87th and 85th?
No, they probably will start milling the existing roadway between 87th and 85th shortly.
Okay.
What they'll do now is they'll start ripping up the old roadway, doing the underground work and stuff like that between 87 and 85. They have to let the concrete that they've just poured last week, it has to cure for at least a week before
Okay.
you do any paving at all. Otherwise, you could
Right.
potentially damage the sidewalks. So they would probably let it cure for at least a while longer before they did that.
And the only reason I ask that is because the roads are blocked off at times for people who live along there, and I was just wondering, have they been? They've obviously been notified and
Yep.
explained that. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
And when we start then the next phase of the project, like 85 to Main Street, those property owners and homeowners along there, they will get notification from the contractor, what his schedule is, when work is going to happen, that sort of thing. And I've also talked to a few of the business owners along 74th Avenue. OK Tire, for example, is a major concern because they do a lot of business on the street
Right.
corner there.
Uh-huh.
They have seen our proposed design, and they are OK with our design. They
Good.
like the design. It provides them a safety feature that they were currently lacking. And so they thought it was a good design, so they know what's coming. But as soon as we award the contract, as part of what the contractor will do is he'll provide information to the homeowners along that strip, what and when it's going to happen.
Perfect. What just amazes me is that the completion of the contract by May the 12th.
It's only a block.
The other ones are only.
Do we have a completion for the other two?
Yeah, I believe it's around the same time
Okay.
for this year, yeah.
Good. Councillor Campbell?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I've read and I'm satisfied by the true report and make a motion to accept option number 1.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Anybody else want to?
I
Did
just
you
wonder-
something? Yeah.
So, my understanding, they'll actually be working on both streets. The two companies will kind of be there chewing up both streets at the same time.
Probably, yes.
And do they, the first company that's chewing up the street, they use that asphalt to lay the other street?
No, hopefully what we're going to do with the asphalt that they mill off of the road, the existing road, we would like to. Last year we put it down up at the dog park, the dog walk.
Okay.
Kind of as an attempt to cut down on the dust and kind of sort of pave that road, but not really. It does help a little bit in dust control, so what we're hoping to do is take those millings and apply them to that parking lot area up by the Ball Diamond and where the dog park is
Okay.
to try and cut down on the amount of dust. Last year when we did it, they did it in the fall, and the outside temperatures weren't such that the millings didn't really get a chance to meld together. We're hoping that if we put it down in the spring and then over the summer when it's hot, that the asphalt will actually kind of knit together a little bit better.
Good. Thank
If
you.
you need
Yes.
another location, maybe you could put it on the road up by Joe's Plumbing.
Okay, we'll take that into
Because Desert
consideration.
Rose always complains about all the dust going over.
Okay, we can
We
certainly,
need a second location.
if we need a second location, we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so have we already voted on this?
Yes, I think so.
We have. We're already done? Okay. We haven't voted.
No.
Okay, so all in favor? Thank you very much. Will you ask Mr.
CJ.
Councillor Rhodes to come back, please?
What's that?
Welcome
Okay.
back. We've had your entire building moved. Just
Yeah, we're going to move your place.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We're putting it in a cat park.
Might get rid of the rats in the basement.
Okay, next is Mr. Dinwiddie again, Kinsmen Beach Wall Replacement and Pedestrian Access. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Kinsmen beach wall replacement. A portion of the retaining wall near the beach adjacent to the White Sands condos that runs from the sailing club to the museum is collapsing and creating a safety concern. This project was previously tendered in May of 2015 but did not proceed at that time due to budgetary considerations. With regards to the pedestrian access between Spartan Drive and Gyro Park at 78th Avenue, this project involves the construction of a 1.5 meter wide concrete sidewalk, complete with five flights of stairs comprising of 2 to 4 risers and handrails. 3 contractors have tendered bids to complete this project for the town of Osoyoos, and an analysis of all the contractor bids by True Consulting recommends that this contract be awarded to Sterling Consulting in the amount of $52,654.76, and True's attached report is attached. The implications for the community is the elimination of a safety hazard at Kinsmen Beach with the replacement of the damaged retaining wall and improved access to Gyro Park from the downtown area with the construction of the pedestrian access from Spartan Drive to Gyro Park at 78th Avenue. There are no impacts for the organization. Impacts for the budget. On the basis of the Sterling Consulting tender, the final project cost is projected to be $8,853.61, or 12.5% under the budget total. Significant dates. In order to ensure the completion of this contract by April 29th of 2016, it is recommended that the tender be awarded as soon as possible. Sustainability, there are no impacts. The options for Town Council are to award the contract for Kinsmen Beach wall replacement and pedestrian access, Spartan Drive to Gyro Park at 78th Avenue, to Sterling Consulting for $52,654.76. Option 2 is a Town Council not award the contract to Sterling Consulting for Kinsmen Beach wall replacement and pedestrian access on Spartan Drive. Option 3 is that Council requests additional information prior to making a decision. Administration recommends option 1 and award this contract for the Kinsmen Beach wall replacement and pedestrian access Spartan Drive to Gyro Park at 70th Avenue construction to Sterling Consulting.
Thank you, Mr. Dinwiddie. I know that there was some concern about that wall down at the beach, and my assumption is that that has been changed. Councillor Rhodes, would you like to speak to that? I think you're on the committee.
I can do that. I'd like to make a motion based on option number 1 first, if I could.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. So now go ahead.
Just to bring forward how important collaboration and consultation is with residents in our community. This wall definitely needs to be replaced. It's not the entire wall, it's a center portion of it.
37 meters.
Yeah. We were originally going to go in there and just replace the wall and repair it and make it all in good order and that kind of thing. There was a member of our community that was very active in the waterfront charrette that we were talking about earlier, that brought to our attention the benefit of having a stairway going down onto that beach area that would really, really enhance, people being able to go down there. His motivation was that you can carry, various water and wind devices down there for water activities and that kind of thing. And we were quite worried about the fact that it was going to significantly add to the cost of it. And how nice is that we can do that and still come in well under budget. So I just wanted to make that point. It was a great thing.
The current design has no stairway in it.
Yeah, but I know, but we are significantly under budget right now. If that does go that route, then we certainly would be, well within that figure. So.
Yeah,
Mr. Manko?
I think we had an estimate, and I don't recall off the top of my head. It was either $8,000 or $9,000 to add stairs in that area. I think what we wanted to see what the tenders came in. This is what the tenders have come in, and I think what we'll probably do is just take a look at kind of all our projects here, and we may bring back a report to council with a recommendation or to have a second look at putting stairs in that particular area with some monies that are left from these capital projects.
So the stairs are not included at this point?
No, they're not included at this point because this was the original tendered project. If we had to do all the engineering, we wouldn't. The hurry in this particular is to get the work done during low water periods. So, but we will, because of how our tenders are coming in, the administration will take a look at bringing something back to council.
Good, thank you. Councillor Youngberg?
Just a comment about the 5 flights of stairs. Since I go there most often, is 3 not enough if you do have extra money? Why is there 5? It says 5 flights of stairs. I take that to mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was just the original design that came from True Consulting, is that they had it, because they wanted more of a kind of a gradual step up, so a gradual slope and not so much, not so steep, so that, yeah.
That's right. Oh,
So
I see.
they were proposing
so
it.
the idea was to graduate it up and
Yeah.
then have the stairs up like that.
I think, yes, that's the plan right now, more gradual rise.
Okay. Councillor King?
Yes, thank you. I guess when I look at this True Consultant, to me, it went out for the wall and the pedestrian access.
Together, yeah.
And now you're telling me the quotes are just for part of it?
Nope, the quotes for both.
There's two separate projects. The pedestrian access is for on the between Mike's Barbershop and White Sands.
Okay.
That's the pedestrian access down to the parking lot there to eliminate the gravel walkway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, Councillor Youngberg?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Director Dino, I have that completely wrong.
Yeah.
I thought it was the 5 sets of stairs
Yeah, for the,
that was going, it says Spartan to Gyro Park on 78th Avenue. So that is Spartan down to the parking lot? that
Yes,
you're
That's
referring
right.
to?
Yes.
So then the retaining wall
Is that 37 meters of retaining wall by
does not
White
have any
Sands?
stairs.
No, it does have no stairs.
that's where it's kind of misleading. I read it the other
Yeah,
way
yeah.
myself.
And you're right, it is 2 separate projects,
Okay,
really,
so
but
why
but
would
lumped
we do
together.
that?
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
would we not put at least 1 set of stairs in?
What-
Is there a reason?
Yeah.
Down at the retaining wall,
Yeah.
because the costs were $9,000, $8,000 to $9,000, and we didn't know that we would have enough
Okay, that's where you're.
enough room in the budget, and it appears we do. So we'll bring back a project amendment once we take a.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Because what happened last year is when we tendered the wall the first time, it came in, all the tenders were way over budget. So we didn't want to, add the stairs to the wall right now for fear that it would be way over budget again.
And
Right,
just be
okay.
redundant.
Sure.
Okay.
Understand
Yeah,
totally.
No, I understand.
have that
I thought it was
mistaken.
on the other
Yeah.
wall too. It's 2 separate things. So they're still going to do these 2?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
The
we
wall and the
have
steps.
moved and seconded but not voted. Am I correct? Okay,
good.
all in favor of these 2 projects lumped together? Thank you very much. Okay. Next is the purchase of a new backhoe. Mr. Dinwiddie, you again.
Afraid so. The replacement of the existing backhoe loader has been identified in the town of Osoyo's capital plan to occur in 2016. For an overview, 4 contractors have tendered bids to provide a new backhoe loader to the town of Osoyo's. A detailed analysis of these contractors' bids was performed by the Operational Services Department, taking into consideration the following criteria: price, delivery date, equipment warranty, location of service center, compliance with specifications, and operator preference. That evaluation should also be attached for you to look at. Right. It should be noted that during the tender process, Operational Services equipment operators were able to utilize the following machines to evaluate their performance. They tried out the John Deere 310 SL, the JCB 3CX 14 Super, the CAT 420 F2, and the Case 580 SH. The machine which scored the highest in this evaluation process was the JCB 3CX-14 Super 2015 model from Wajax Equipment. It should be noted, however, that of all the different backhoe loaders offered by the various contractors in this tender, only the Case 580 SH from the Inland Group met the town of Osoyo's specification for a maximum machine width over the tires of 84 inches. This is the width between the graves at the town cemetery. Unfortunately, this particular machine is by far the most expensive unit tendered and did not include a hydraulic thumb for the hoe attachment, which is a $10,000 to $12,000 option. In order to be able to still service the town cemetery, the Operational Services Department proposes that the existing 2002 Case Super M backhoe, which has a machine width of 84 inches, remain in the fleet, and that the 1990 John Deere 310C backhoe loader be sold in a surplus equipment auction. The funds obtained from the sale of the 1990 John Deere 310C backhoe should be sufficient to compensate for the $12,000 price difference between the new John Deere 310 SL machine offered by Brandt Tractor and the preferred JCB 3CX14 Super supplied by Wajax Equipment. So once again, you can refer to the matrix which is attached. The implications for the community: more effective performance of operational services tasks by utilizing the more powerful and efficient backhoe loader. For the organization, removal of aging and ineffective equipment from the town's inventory and replacing it with more energy-efficient machines. Budget: on the basis of the Wajax equipment bid, the final project cost is projected to be $30,530, or 19.1% under the project budget. Significant dates: it is recommended that the tender be awarded as soon as possible so that we can get the machine within a month. Sustainability: reduced impacts to the environment by utilizing the more energy-efficient JCB 3CX14C backhoe loader. Options for Town Council are to award the contract for the purchase of the new backhoe loader to Wajax Equipment for a JCB 3CX14 Super 2015 backhoe loader for $129,470 even. Option 2 is that Town Council not award the contract for the purchase of the new backhoe to Wajax Equipment. Option 3 is that Council requests additional information prior to making the decision. Administration recommends option 1, and that this contract be awarded for the purchase of a new backhoe loader to Wajax Equipment.
Thank you very much. And we like the fact that this is the third time you've said that you're under budget. So,
Yes,
you know what, that's a good thing as far as we're concerned.
Especially after the budget just being adopted.
Councillors. Yes, Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'll make a motion based on option number 1 with the exact wording in there.
Okay. Yes. Are you seconding that? Anybody need to speak to this? I see them around. You've been using some of them and trying them out. So
yes, we were very fortunate. We were able to try, like I said, the 4 different types of backhoe loaders. Of the 4 different type, the JCB was by far the better machine.
Okay, good. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much. And the next item is the Fire Hall Offsite Services, 74th Avenue to Road A. Mr. Dinwiddie.
Me again. Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. The following off-site services are required for the new fire hall, which will be borne by the town and are not part of the cost sharing with the Osoyoos Rural Fire Protection District and the OIB. This project comprises the following works and approximate quantities: 40 meters of 200 diameter PVC sanitary, complete with appurtenances; 105 meters of 150 millimeter to 250 millimeter PVC water main, complete with appurtenances; 6 streetlight bases and 180 meters of streetlight ducting; 250 meters of standard curb and gutter; 240 square meters of concrete sidewalk; and 800 square meters of asphalt, complete with gravel base. 6 contractors have tendered bids to complete this project for the town of Osoyoos. An analysis of all contractor bids by True Consulting recommends that this contract be awarded to Superior Excavating in the amount of $196,413 even. And you can refer to True's attached report. Implications for the community: the completion of service provision to the new fire hall, including water, sewer, and access roadways. It has no impacts organizationally. The budget: on the basis of Superior Excavating tender, the final project is projected to be $29,940 or $40, or 10% under budget total. Significant 4 in a row. Significant dates. In order to ensure the completion of this contract by May 12, 2016, it is recommended that the tender be awarded as soon as possible, and there are no impacts for sustainability. The options for Town Council are: Town Council award the contract for Fire Hall Offsite Services, 74th Avenue to Road A, to Superior Excavating for $196,413 even. Option 2 is that Town Council not award the contract for Fire Hall Offsite Services, 74th Avenue to Road A, to Superior Excavating. Option 3 is that Council request additional information prior to making a decision. Administration recommends option 1 and award this contract for Fire Hall Offsite Services, 74th Avenue to Road A, to Superior Excavating.
Thank you very much. I think on May the 12th, we're going to have a party because, as far as I can figure out, there's about 6 things that are being completed that day. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be here.
I won't be here either.
Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCorduff. Was it at all concerning the price difference between Superior and sort of the other ones all being within 10 and 15,000 of each other, seeing the one contractor coming in, well, $50,000 under the closest competitor there? Knowing when we look for scopes of work in the private sector there, that sometimes that raises flags.
Like I said, when True looked at this, they didn't seem to think that would be an issue. They have had experience with Superior Excavating in the past, and they found them to be a competent and reputable firm. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's why True is involved in all of these things, looking at it, and that's their job, to make sure that it falls, that it is done the correct way, and that no red flags.
like I said, they have worked with Superior in the past and have had no problems. So.
Okay. All right. Yes, Councillor King.
Thank you. When this went out, the tender included the street lights, and now the street lights aren't included. Am I reading that right?
When it went out to tender, the street light bases and the ducting for the street light was included, but the street lights are in a separate.
Okay.
The street lights themselves are a separate contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor Campbell.
I would make a motion to accept option number 1 as it's worded.
Thank you. And second it. All in favor? Thank you very much. That's carried. No notice of motion. So next is the general net payroll Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts. And to report on expenditures from accounts payable for council approval and payroll information. General cash requirements, $842,122.68. Sun Bowl cash requirements, $14,510.63, and both of those will be accepted by consensus. And net payroll accounts, $140,615.88, and that's for information. Thank you. Do we need to have somebody adopt those, or are they? No, they're done. Okay. And the bylaw. Is that the next one?
Mm-hmm.
And bylaw is, and we're quite happy to have bylaw enforcement month ends every month now. And what has been said here by our bylaw officer is that they've been working on traffic patrols and a few trailers and a motorhome parked where prohibited, and tractor trailers parked on 115th Street. No parking signs will be put up within the month in this area, as the large tractor trailers have been posing a safety issue. Once again, there have been some problems with business and 2 across the street, and 2 warning tickets were written for this month for the traffic. Received calls for dogs at large, but they were gone. Had a complaint of a dog attack. So there are a few animal concerns here. And a cat was picked up. Unsightly premises have started this month. There are 3 new properties and 2 from last month. I've been monitoring the parks as the weather has become warmer, and more people are out working with family and their pets and educating them of the bylaws of the parks. And bylaw enforcement focus for the month of March is to continue monitoring and enforcing the bylaws of the town of Osoyoos to maintain safety for the community of Osoyoos. And I would just like to say that that I'm very pleased to see that the washrooms at the sailing club, or at the marina, have been open for public use since the other washrooms at Gyro have been closed for repairs. So I think that's a very nice solution to that problem for people who are out walking. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mayor McCorduff. I think this is a great report. I was just wondering for the next month if they could have, like on an Excel sheet, where we could have comparables, so we could see the ups and downs each month.
Good thought. I think
Yeah,
that
we can do that.
I think she's Pat Marshall has just been asked to start doing these reports, so it might be a good idea to compare.
Pat has been providing us these kind of intermittently prior to, but the new contract has her reporting them. She's reporting based on hours. I'd have to take a look at why we used to get reports based on incidents versus hours, and I'll just ask why we've moved to that. Because I think incidents tell more than hours.
Yes, I think so too.
Could take 4 hours to chase a cat.
It's slippery, yeah.
Send it to CJ's. He has.
Have you heard cats?
No, I've just, thanks.
Impossible.
It's impossible. Okay, yes, Councillor King.
Thanks again. Can I just bring one thing to your attention since you mentioned 115th Street? There used to be a stop sign there that the town put in about 3 months ago. It's no longer there. When the trucks are coming down from beside Joe's Plumbing, there was a stop sign because they just roar through and people are it's an accident made to happen.
But isn't that a driveway?
No, there's 2 driveways there. The city had put a stop sign in there about 3 or 4 months ago.
Really?
Yes, and now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone put it. It's a proper city street last time.
It is.
Right there in that corner.
I don't know if I ever saw a stop sign.
I thought that particular roadway was a...
I'm talking where the gravel roads come down
Yeah.
from the truck repair shop. There
Yeah,
was
I
a
thought that
stop
was
sign right next to Joe's Plumbing.
Really?
Yes.
It was taken away because they're supposed to turn and go out to the highway like that. They're not supposed to come to that particular intersection anymore. But they
No, I'm not talking up at the corner there. I'm talking where the gravel comes down,
Yeah.
right next to Joe's Plumbing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Anyhow,
Mr.
another
Dinwiddie could
time.
have a look and call you if he needs some.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a
Explanation.
public street.
Yeah, I was of the opinion
Coming
that that's
from-
an actual private driveway, and we
Yeah.
can't actually put a stop sign on a private driveway, so...
someone had put one up.
Okay.
Maybe
And
somebody
maybe it was
Western
them.
town.
Maybe
Stole
they had
one
done
and
that.
put it up.
Because that's coming from JF's back in,
Either one or the mechanic, like they're side by side now.
Yeah.
And the big trucks coming from the repair shop come down and they just can go right through and
Well-
there's no, even a yield sign might be sufficient.
well, it's
But like I said, if it's a private driveway, like, we don't have any authority to put up a stop sign on
Okay,
a
I'm-
private
yeah.
property, so...
I just
If
thought-
it's a road, then
Yeah.
we can do that, but I'll
Okay.
Well,
check
that's
and make
fine.
sure.
It was just someone had put up a stop sign, so.
But
I
you'll
know.
look into
Well,
it then.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, next is the, no,
I'll make that motion that we adopt
we
the
need to
report.
what? That we receive it? The,
receipt for information, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, thank you
received,
very
yeah.
much. Done.
Second.
All in favor? Committee reports, no. CAO.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few of the activities that the administration has been involved in the last couple of weeks. Starting in community services, again, just congratulations to both the Bantam representative hockey team and the senior boys basketball team on taking part in provincial play. The community services grant program has been rolled up. Apparently, there are 22 applications for a total of $75,000, and the committee will be working on those shortly. Compost bins are for sale with the RDOS starting March 1st. That's out of the Sonora. Sun Bowl Arena will be shutting down May 8th for approximately 8 to 10 weeks. The volunteer appreciation is set for April 9th at the Sonora Community Center, so please make sure to RSVP. The new spring leisure guide will be ready for circulation in the next couple of weeks. And there was an on-site meeting to discuss placement of the new playground equipment at Lions Beach, and that's slated to start. Slated to start installation at the end of March. In terms of corporate services, an update was being done to our website. One Freedom of Information request was responded to. Department staff met to discuss department roles, responsibilities, action trackers, and electronic filing with the directors. The annual report is in the process of being compiled, and also the delegation of authority bylaw is in its drafting stage, and we'll be looking at the draft of that tomorrow at the directors meeting. Finance had the auditors in all last week, and they've gone off and taken their information. In terms of planning and development, there's been a new subdivision plan for the Richter property, and also they've been working with on the Gyro Park Phase B work. Public Works, Water Station number 8 electrical upgrades are proceeding, and we're running into some issues with getting an easement on this and to enable Fortis to install their transformers. So Director Dinwoody has been working very diligently on this to ensure that we try and have water when water needs to be put out. Streets and sidewalk sweeping is continuing, and ongoing maintenance at the cemetery. You dealt with all the contract tenders earlier this afternoon, and they've also converted the traffic island at Kingfisher and 89th from grass to xerox landscaping. Also, work has started at Gyro washrooms due to the vandalism, and it looks like there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we may not be able to salvage one of the washroom appliances there. So very extensive. When they started the fire in one of the toilets, it caused irreparable damage. To myself, following up actions related to the school closure, also met with the finance director and the auditor to go over our procedures. We had a labor management meeting last week to discuss job description and clerical staffing issues. We had a fire hall site visit. Staff from the Resort Municipality Program, that's provincial staff, were out a couple weeks ago, and we did a tour of all the RMI projects and also our community. And Gyro Park, Phase B, has moved along. I think they're at a stage where they're just ready to put the blocks down. Phase A will be receiving additional lighting this week, and the remainder of the benches and sign should be in place by the end of the month.
Good.
So,
thank you very much. Nice to see spring is here and all these projects get going, eh? Do we need to accept the report from the CAO's report be received? Thank you. It's Campbell Roads, all in favor? Okay. Now we'll go on to Councillors' reports, and Councillor Campbell, you're first.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I'll be brief. I just wanted to encourage everybody in our community, if you can and if you have the means, to make the school board public meeting tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. at the Sonora Center. And I don't often, and I know it's not a great idea to always respond to things that are written in the media, but I feel it necessary. You look scared. No. And there's been some mention in a couple of publications that mayor and council in deliberations or meetings with the school board were construed as disrespectful in the conversation. And I just want to state on my own behalf, and from what anything I witnessed in those meetings, that I certainly saw passion from our mayor and council and asking questions and challenging process. But I don't feel at any point in time was anybody at this table disrespectful. In fact, we feel that we're doing everything we can to represent our constituents, and now looking towards solutions. On a brighter note, I'd also encourage everybody, if you can make it out tonight at 7 p.m. to the Coyotes game, as they're in round 2 of the playoffs, and this is game 2 of round 2. They did sweep the first series 4-0. So if you can get out there, it'd be a great night tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor King.
Thank you, Mayor. Ditto on everything Councillor Campbell did. I do encourage you, though, to keep the peace tomorrow night when you go out there. Save the schools. I know everybody's passionate about saving our school, and hopefully there'll be a lot of great new ideas come forward, and hopefully we'll get some answers.
Good. Thank you. Councillor Youngberg.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just to ditto Councillor Campo. I do go to a few hockey games and definitely going tonight, I hope, if I can get there, and wish them all the best of luck. And also the school meeting tomorrow night, I know everybody is going to support if they can, and to keep it very much under control is certainly a wish of mine for sure. The Okanagan Regional Library, I attended a meeting 2 weeks ago, and we're excited about the new library cards and also our new librarian who's taking to the position very nicely. There has been one report to me about the $25 the $25 annual charge for snowbirds at the library, and there was some big concern, and I got couple or three phone calls. And just to report that the Okanagan Library head office has indicated that it will be put on the agenda for our next meeting, but at the same time, they're hoping that the snowbirds can enjoy the library and possibly share the $25 library card fee. That's a thought anyways, if somebody is so reluctant to pay it. But other than that, it's been busy, and hope everybody has a great spring over the next 2 weeks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCardoff. I'm going to go off in a completely different direction. I'm going to report on the museum. I was going to do it during the committee reports, but it works well here. I was able to attend their last board meeting, and I can't say enough about the energy in that group. Somehow or another, the word energy and museums just don't seem to go together all that well, but there certainly is a real good energy in that group. It's a small group, but they're working hard, and everything that they've been doing has been very professional. One of the mandates that they have with the museum right now is to reach out into the community and try to educate people on things that are happening or have happened in our community. And I know Cara Burton gave a presentation at the C2C, the community forum, and it seems like it was really well accepted. She did a bit on settler history in the South Okanagan. In addition to that, she was also able to get involved in an outreach program at 10 different classes and with our grade 2 to 7 students at the Osoyoos Elementary School and the Good Shepherd School. And this is a Royal Bank of Canada thing that they're kind of sponsoring on species at risk, and they have a bunch of educational boxes, and she's been taking these around and said that it's been working out really good. The feedback has been very positive. And in addition to that, on Easter weekend, on the Saturday, March 26th, the museum will be having an open house. The last one they had, a lot of people didn't hear about it, still had over 80 people that attended it. So if you're not doing anything on that day, what a great thing to do. Just wanted to mention that there was a snowbird from Alberta that was at the last one, the one before that last spring, a year ago. And he does restoration work on musical instruments and that kind of thing. And they had two really old gramophones that were part of the display there. He took them out, took them back home, and has just brought them back to the museum completely restored, and they're looking just really good, and they actually sound really good. It's incredible. It's almost worth going down there just to visit that. And he did it all voluntarily. There was no cost to the museum or anything, so I don't know who he is, but thank you very much for doing that. And that's my report for today.
Thank you very much. I've been quite busy the last couple of weeks, and one of the things that I did was attend the C2C, Community to Community Forum, which was up at Spirit Ridge and in County Conference Centre. And thank you for mentioning Cara Burton, who looks after our manager of our museum. She did an excellent job. There was a history of First Nations and non-Indigenous settlers in the South Okanagan, and Brenda Baptiste talked and Cara talked, so they were terrific. We went on a walk around the cultural center, and we talked about partnering for regional tourism success. So it was a good day, and we thank the RDOS for putting that on. I was also at the RDOS the other day because on March the 4th, it was the 50th anniversary of the regional district, and there were several past regional district chairs that were there and spoke, and it was a very nice event. So congratulations to the regional district. They do a good job. The OBWB, I can't remember whether I reported on that or not, but I was at the Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting as well last week, and while people look outside and say it's spring and oh, isn't it nice, it's great, and we've even had some rain, there is a concern this year that we not only could have a drought, but we might also have a flood. So it just sort of depends when it rains and how long it takes for the. Apparently, a lot of the snow up in the hills is melting quickly, but I see that there was some new snow last night. So what we need is a slower melt of the snow, and we need rain in June. And apparently, those are the two things that are going to hopefully help us out so that we don't have a summer like last summer. So the Water Sustainability Act is now out on February the 29th, and I'm sure that information is available to anybody who wants to have a look at it. And it's quite involved, and there are people looking at it and trying to make sense of all of that water monitoring. The other thing is, I was at do you remember that the last council meeting, there was a lady here from the South Okanagan Immigration Council, so I went to the local Immigration Partnership Council meeting the other day where we talked about how to support local immigrants, and there's a very good program. There's lots of resources there for people that come, so happy to say that. And on Saturday this week, there is a solar fair, and it is on in Penticton, and it's at the Okanagan College on Saturday, March the 12th, from 8:30 to 4. Really a good symposium on lots of guest speakers on it, and I do have this brochure. I'm going to be in Vancouver, so I won't be able to attend. But if anybody was interested and wanting to learn more about solar, it's certainly in the news, and I think we'll see a lot more solar projects around this area. And I think that's all that I had to say. So we wish everybody a nice, sunny, warm afternoon, and please continue to read all the papers and Sue's Daily News and all of her daily news and all the things that keep you up to date on the school issues, because it's certainly something that we want people to be aware of and make good decisions. So thank you very much, and could we have a motion to adjourn? Councillor Campbell, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you.